This sign means A. Merge right. B. Divided highway begins. C. Lane ends. This symbol is used for A. Dangerous intersections. B. Slow-moving vehicles. C. Yield signs. B. Slow-moving vehicles. A reflective orange triangle on the rear of a vehicle means it travels only at slow speeds. You may see this sign on roadwork equipment, farm vehicles, or horse-drawn wagons and carriages. It appears as a solid orange triangle during the day and a hollow red triangle at night. If you are driving and a tire suddenly goes flat, you should A. Rapidly pump the brake pedal several times. B. Slow down gradually and not brake. C. Press down on the brake pedal as hard as you can. B. Slow down gradually and not brake. If a tire blows out or suddenly goes flat while you are driving, grip the steering wheel firmly and keep the vehicle aiming straight. Take your foot off the accelerator and do not brake. Allow the vehicle to slow by itself and use the brakes gently, but only if necessary. Pull off the road when it is safe to do so. Which of the following statements about blind spots is true? A. They are eliminated if you have one outside mirror on each side of the vehicle. B. Large trucks have bigger blind spots than most passenger vehicles. C. Blind spots can be checked by looking in your rearview mirrors. B. Large trucks have bigger blind spots than most passenger vehicles. Blind spots are areas that a driver cannot see if they look in their mirrors. Large trucks have large blind spots that drivers of other vehicles should avoid.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
This road sign means A. Pedestrian crossing. B. School crossing. C. Jogging trail. A. Pedestrian crossing. Warning signs provide notice to road users of a situation that might not be readily apparent and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign tells drivers to be alert to crossing pedestrians. The first thing that alcohol affects is A. Vision. B. Judgment. C. Balance. B. Judgment. Alcohol reduces all of the important abilities you need to drive safely. Alcohol goes from your stomach to your blood, then from your blood to all other parts of your body. Alcohol affects the areas of your brain that control judgment and skill. Which of the following describes the thinking of defensive drivers? A. They know other drivers will do the right thing. B. They consider what other drivers might do and are prepared to react. C. They expect no breaks and give none. B. They consider what other drivers might do and are prepared to react. Driving defensively means anticipating potential errors made by others and preparing to compensate for their mistakes. This sign means you are approaching a railroad crossing that does not have a signal. You should A. Come to a complete stop. B. Proceed at a consistent speed while looking and listening for approaching trains. C. Slow down, look both ways, listen for any trains, and be prepared to stop if any trains are nearby. C. Slow down, look both ways, listen for any trains, and be prepared to stop if any trains are nearby. At a railroad crossing marked with this sign, a driver should look both ways, listen for any trains, and be prepared to stop if any trains are nearby. Never try to outdrive an oncoming train. This sign means A. No U-turn. B. No left turn. C. No right turn. C. No right turn. Where this sign is posted, it is prohibited to make a right turn. It would be unsafe and unlawful to make a right turn at an intersection with this sign. The proper way to make a right turn is to A. Signal, slow down, and get into the lane closest to the centerline before turning. B. Signal, slow down, and get into the lane closest to the right curb before turning. C. Approach the corner in the lane nearest the right curb, but move over toward the middle of the street before turning. B. Signal, slow down, and get into the lane closest to the right curb before turning. Before beginning a right turn, use the appropriate signal to give surrounding drivers adequate notice of your intentions. Slow down and approach the intersection from the right lane, staying as close as is practical to the right curb or edge of the roadway. When passing, you should move back into the right lane when A. You are one vehicle length ahead of the passed vehicle. B. You can see both headlights of the passed vehicle in your rear-view mirror. C. You are 50 feet ahead of the passed vehicle. B. You can see both headlights of the passed vehicle in your rear-view mirror. Do not pass unless you have enough space to return to the driving lane. Before you return to the driving lane, be sure you have enough room between yourself and the vehicle you have passed. When you can see both headlights of the passed vehicle in your rear-view mirror, it is safe to return to the driving lane. There is no crosswalk and you see a pedestrian crossing your lane ahead. You should A. Make eye contact with and then pass the pedestrian. B. Slow down as you pass the pedestrian. C. Stop and let the pedestrian finish crossing the street. C. Stop and let the pedestrian finish crossing the street. At an intersection where traffic is not controlled by traffic signal lights, drivers are required to yield the right-of-way to pedestrians within any crosswalk, marked or unmarked. Even if there is no crosswalk, yield to the pedestrian. As your speed increases, it is important to A. Turn on your headlights. B. Look well ahead of your vehicle. C. Change lanes frequently. B. Look well ahead of your vehicle. Your vehicle's stopping distance increases as your speed increases. When driving at high speeds, it is important to look well ahead of your vehicle to allow yourself space to safely react to hazardous situations. If you are about to be hit from the rear, you should consider each of the following, except for A. Applying your brakes. B. Letting go of the steering wheel. C. Pressing your head firmly against the head restraint. It is necessary to use your low beams anytime you are A. On a lighted street. B. On a freeway. C. In fog. C. In fog. Use your low beams when driving in fog, snow, rain, or mist. Light from high beams will reflect off of precipitation, causing a glare and making it even more difficult to see. Some vehicles are equipped with fog lights that should be used in addition to low beam headlights. When you see this yellow sign, you should A. Always stop at the crosswalk. B. Stop at the crosswalk until a crossing guard signals for you to go. C. Be prepared to stop if children are in the crosswalk. C. Be prepared to stop if children are in the crosswalk. A five-sided sign indicates that you are near a school. Be aware and stop if children are in the crosswalk. If you have a sudden tire blowout, A. Use the brakes lightly. B. Pump the brakes. C. Apply the brakes firmly. A. Use the brakes lightly. If a tire suddenly goes flat while you are driving, hold the steering wheel tightly and keep the vehicle moving straight. Slow down gradually by taking your foot off the gas pedal and using the brakes lightly. A sign with this shape means A. No passing zone. B. Right turn permitted on red. C. Yield right of way. A. No passing zone. A pennant-shaped sign marks the beginning of a no passing zone. This sign means A. Merge. B. Winding road ahead. C. Reserved parking for persons with disabilities. If a tire suddenly blows out while you are driving, you should A. Grip the steering wheel firmly, slow down, and exit the traffic lane. B. Pump the brakes rapidly. C. Brake hard and steer toward the right edge of the roadway. A. Grip the steering wheel firmly, slow down, and exit the traffic lane. If you experience a sudden tire blowout, do not panic. Grasp the steering wheel firmly and take your foot off the accelerator to allow the vehicle to roll to a stop. Lightly apply the brakes when it is safe to do so. Do not move to the shoulder of the road until the car has slowed considerably. If you want to pass a pedestrian who is walking along the roadway and an oncoming vehicle is approaching, you should A. Slow down and let the oncoming vehicle pass before you pass the pedestrian. B. Keep driving at a steady speed. The oncoming vehicle must stop for you. C. Honk your horn to get the pedestrian to move over. A. Slow down and let the oncoming vehicle pass before you pass the pedestrian. If possible, try to only deal with one roadway hazard at a time. If you want to pass a pedestrian but an oncoming vehicle is approaching, slow down and let the vehicle pass. You may then pass the pedestrian if it is safe to do so. If you miss your exit on the freeway, you should not A. Continue on the freeway and find an alternate route to your destination. B. Proceed to the next exit, leave the freeway, and return to your proper exit. C. Back up on the road or shoulder. This sign means A. Winding road ahead. B. Do not enter. C. Pedestrian crossing. A. Winding road ahead. This sign warns of a winding road ahead. You should use your horn when A. Another vehicle is in your way. B. It may help prevent a collision. C. Another driver makes a mistake. B. It may help prevent a collision. Only use your horn when it is necessary to avoid collisions. Do not use your horn if a driver or bicyclist is moving slowly and you want him or her to drive faster or get out of your way. What does this road sign mean? A. Winding road. B. Loose gravel. C. Slippery when wet. C. Slippery when wet. This sign indicates that the road may be slippery when wet. Exercise caution when driving on a slippery road. Broken yellow lines are used on streets and highways to A. Indicate no passing zones. B. Separate lanes of traffic moving in the same direction. C. Separate lanes of traffic moving in opposite directions. C. Separate lanes of traffic moving in opposite directions. Yellow lines separate traffic moving in opposite directions. Dashed lines on the pavement indicate that passing is permitted when safe. This sign means A. Cars on the right move first. B. You have the right of way. C. Let cross traffic pass before proceeding. C. Let cross traffic pass before proceeding. When approaching this sign, you must yield the right of way. Slow down and let vehicles and pedestrians crossing your path pass before you proceed. If necessary, stop before going ahead. This sign means A. All traffic must turn left. B. No left turn. C. No U-turn. B. No left turn. This sign means drivers cannot make a left turn. It is unsafe and unlawful to make a left turn at an intersection where this sign is posted. When you see this road sign, you should A. Keep right. B. Keep left. C. Pass with caution. A. Keep right. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign indicates that a divided highway is beginning and cars should keep to the right. If you drive faster than other vehicles on a road with one lane moving in each direction and continually pass the other cars, you will A. Get you to your destination much more quickly and safely. B. Increase your chances of an collision. C. Help prevent traffic congestion. B. Increase your chances of an collision. You should avoid passing other vehicles on two-lane roads. Every time you pass a vehicle, your odds of being in a collision increase. A sign with this shape means A. Railroad crossing. B. Warning. C. Signal ahead. B. Warning. A diamond-shaped yellow sign warns of possible danger ahead. Orange signs, which are mostly diamond-shaped, are used to warn of possible dangers in or near work areas. This road sign means A. Flagger ahead. B. Turn left at the intersection. C. Last turn before a toll road. A. Flagger ahead. Orange is the standard color for work zone activity. If you see orange signs, cones, or barrels while driving, stay alert and be prepared for unexpected driving conditions. This sign alerts drivers to an upcoming flagger whose directions should be obeyed by all drivers. This road sign means A. School crossing. B. Pedestrian crossing. C. Jogging trail. B. Pedestrian crossing. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign indicates the presence of a crosswalk, regardless of if it is marked on the pavement or not. Upon seeing this sign, you should be alert and allow any pedestrians to cross the road safely. What does this road sign mean? A. Falling rocks. B. Trucks use second gear. C. Steep hill. C. Steep hill. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign indicates that you are approaching a steep hill. Slow down and be ready to shift to a lower gear to control your speed and protect your brakes from damage. This white sign means you should not pass other vehicles. A. Until after you pass the sign. B. Unless it seems safe to do so. C. For any reason. You must show proof of insurance to law enforcement. A. Only if you are involved in a collision. B. If you are involved in a collision or stopped for a citation. C. Only if you are stopped and cited. B. If you are involved in a collision or stopped for a citation. You must have evidence of financial responsibility, such as proof of insurance, with you whenever you drive. You must always show proof of insurance and your license to an officer upon request after a traffic stop or collision. This sign means A. Side road. B. Merge. C. Yield the right of way. A. Side road. This sign indicates that there is an intersection with a side road ahead. This road sign means A. Road construction ahead. B. The road ahead curves left then right. C. The road ahead curves right then left. C. The road ahead curves right then left. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign warns drivers that the upcoming road will curve right, followed by a curve to the left. Drivers should adjust their speed to safely continue on the road. Streets and highways are most slippery. A. When it has been raining hard for several hours. B. When they are clean and dry. C. Just after it starts to rain. C. Just after it starts to rain. Driving during the first half hour of rainfall is dangerous because roadways become extremely slippery when the water mixes with oil and other chemicals on the road surfaces that have not yet washed away. Use extra caution when driving on slippery roads. When driving behind another vehicle at night, you should A. Keep your headlights on the low beam setting. B. Use your high beam headlights until you are within 10 feet of the vehicle ahead. C. Use your high beam headlights. A. Keep your headlights on the low beam setting. Use high beam headlights only when driving in rural areas and when other cars are not nearby. Lower your headlights to their low beam setting when you are following closely behind another driver.